What's up, blockchain gang? In this NFT buying guide, I'm going to give you an idea of how to value an NFT in MIR4 based on numerous factors to help you know if you're selling yours for the right price or if the one you're planning to buy is a good deal or not, just like you would value a used car by the features it has. I have named this system the Purple Blue Book Value, or PBB for short. I would just like to lay a few ground rules at this time. I'll be using US dollars for all prices because if I told you an amount of Wemix, it could be altered by the change in the value of either the NFTs themselves or the Wemix token. Instead, I use dollars at a time when the base NFT, which is the one that is the most affordable on a regular basis, is currently $250. Of course, I'm excluding desperate sellers listing their NFT 20% under the next lowest price who are just in the need of some fast cash. So if you're watching this and the base cost of an NFT in MIR4 is, for example, $125 or $500, you would know to divide all of my numbers by half or double them accordingly. Also, these prices do not include the 5% fee for selling an NFT, which should be taken into consideration for all trades of this size. Finally, as an NFT grows in power and level, the rate at which it gains and holds its value increases because there are fewer comparable NFTs being sold. With all that out of the way, let's do it.
Ooh, ah, yeah. Ooh, ah. Oh, don't you know that's the sound of the men working on the chain. One more. Gang. Don't you know that's the sound of the men working on the chain. Gang. Can you even say it? Ooh, ah.
The first thing we want to look at, and also probably the most important, is the level of the NFT. We're going to use level 80 as a base. So if an NFT is below level 80, we're going to subtract from its base value, and if they are above level 80, it will inflate the value. If we take a look at the amount of experience required to level up, we can see there's a rather large jump from level 80 to 81, where the experience required to level up more than doubles. Again, we can see this going from level 90 to 91, where it doubles again. From 111 to 112, the required experience doubles, as well as an 80% increase from 131 to 132. From observing market conditions, I would subtract $2.50 from the base price for each level that is below 80. For each level over 80, the price will increase by an amount that also increases with each level. You can locate the level of the NFT in question to find an approximate fair value for the experience they have gathered thus far. The next biggest factor in an NFT will be its power. With the base value at 100K, you can measure a noticeable difference in price for every 5,000 power that also increases the higher it gets. Again, you can locate the power on the chart and see an approximate value of how much it should add to the value of your NFT. The next thing to consider is pets. Each epic pet unlocked should add $10 to $25 to the base price depending on the pet, with event pets being the rarest. You can add an additional $5 for each epic pet you have that is duped. Remember that anything in your personal storage will currently not show up in your listing, so you must transfer the item in your inventory before you seal your character for them to be considered by a potential buyer. I realize that epic pets are worth more than this, but you're also gaining value from the increase in power the pet provides, which should not be counted twice. I'm sorry, but I don't have enough data to value the price of a legendary pet at this time. The closest I could come is a guess based upon how much NFTs of similar power and level are sold with 0, 1, and 2 legendary spirit pets, but that doesn't take into account which pet you are getting or any other factors. That would be an average of about $4,000. The next part to consider is abilities. This is a tricky one, but the closest metric I can come up with is that every NFT should have at least a level 5 ultimate ability and level 7 of everything else. I would subtract $5 for each rare skill book that is missing for any underleveled abilities. For each level 8 ability or above, I would add $100 to $1,000. I know that is a huge range, but the value is derived from how significant the impact is when it reaches level 8, such as a Taoist ability to resurrect allies, which is one of the most expensive. I would like to go into detail on the best epic abilities for each class, but that is outside of the scope of this video. Higher level abilities and unused epic tomes are only worth about $25, since level 9 and 10 abilities are not as impactful as the Second Awakening, while you could add another $1 for each unused rare skill tome. The next big thing we want to take a look at is magic stones. I would expect at least one full loadout of epic stones, but place a premium on legendary stones of about $50 on average. This is lower than you might expect because it is impossible to currently view the secondary stats of the stone before you buy the NFT, so you must assume the worst. When it comes to gear, we're adding on $20 for each epic piece of gear or rare gear that is enhanced to level 8 or higher. If the epic gear is tier 2, we would factor in the combined cost to make it an even $50, $120 for T3, and $250 for T4. If an item is plus 6, you could add 10% to the value of the equipment, 25% for plus 7, and 50% for plus 8. If these were T4 epic items, you can double these bonuses, while an epic T4 plus 8 would be worth about $1,000 at least, due to it being used in place of a legendary dragon piece. Lastly, we get to inventory. Having nearly 300 epic dragon statues is a way to add another $20 to the price. Having epic dragon parts in your inventory is worth just as much, if not more, than a fully crafted piece, because there is always a small chance that it will become X DRACO and be worth $500. While I only value these at $20, others may think they are worth as much as $50 because they like to gamble. I know we didn't cover Mystic Pieces, Conquest Towers, Spirit Treasures, Inner Force, or Constitution, but that is because these are largely already accounted for in the power calculation, and there's not a big enough difference between these and NFTs that would cause the price to be altered by a significant amount in my opinion, with the exception of Legendary Spirit Treasures. Of course, these are only my opinions on how much each category may be worth based upon my limited experience with the game. I will be the first to admit that these theories may contain numerous flaws or variables I have not accounted for, and that is why I wanted to make this video in the first place. If you would like to challenge anything I have said in this video, I will welcome it and be waiting for you in the comment section. If the MIR4 community can agree on a standard method of pricing for progression, I feel it will be easier for both buyers and sellers of NFTs to make sure that they're getting fair prices. Now we're going to put my theories into practice to try to decide if various NFTs are listed for a fair price or not. One giveaway that an NFT is not a great deal is the listing is over 1 month old. The depreciation of NFTs over the past month and lack of sale thus far are both red flags that the NFT is overpriced, so always take that into consideration. Even if you find a good deal on one, it will be missing a large chunk of progression from the most recent content such as the Hydra quests and new equipment. Finding a more recent listing will probably be stronger, cheaper, and have less for you to catch up on in the game. So let's value my character first. At level 82, 105,000 power, it would take our $250 base price up to $285. With 3 epic spirits and 2 duplicates, we would add another $40 to be at $325. I have one unpopular level 8 ability, but I am missing 6 rare tomes, which would bring the total up to $345. Now we would add another $40 in gear to put the price at $385. Let's check the market to see how we did. The first tip on using the market I have for you is to use the filters. If you are buying an NFT, you should know what class you want to buy ahead of time to reduce the market clutter by 80% right off the bat. You should also have a price range in mind, so we can sort by price and look at any level and power that is priced less than it should be. On the other hand, if you're selling your NFT, you should search by level or power and class to find the value of similar NFTs. If you would like to sell it as quickly as possible, you need to undercut similar powered NFTs in price and check it every day to see if you need to update that price. If you don't mind waiting to find a buyer for the right price, you can be firm and only relist it if the base price of NFTs drops 20%. Now, let's check the PBV value of a level 90 sorcerer with 109,000 power and compare it with the listed price. We can add $175 for the level and $40 for the power to bring the value up from $250 to $465. We can see 2 epic items for an extra $40, $40 for the epic ability minus 2 rare books and the level 6 ice block, and $50 for rare pets. We come to $595, which means that this listing is at least $21 under the PBB value, or perhaps more depending on how much you value the level 8 Blizzard ability. This level 90 sorcerer with 117,000 power brings the base up to $520. $22 for the epic T1 plus 6, $60 for 6 epic pets is $602. Then we have to add the $50 for the epic ability, but lose $25 for missing level 7 abilities, and the $50 magic stone puts the price at $677, and that would be $57 under the PBB value. Lastly, let's take a look at a level 101 Arbalest with 150,000 power, which would start out at about $5,550 if she were naked and afraid. However, if you slap on a full set of epic gear, that goes to $5,825. 4 legendary magic stones for another $200, and $100 in pets would be $6,125. We can probably call the abilities about $1,000 in total, but I would need someone with more arbalist experience to know if that was at all accurate. If this was in the ballpark of around $7,000, it would probably be a good deal according to the PBB, but this is far overpriced, and the reason for that is probably because it was listed over a month ago and NFTs have since depreciated. The current rate at which NFTs are being purchased can be broken down by price. In the past 24 hours of recording this video, 80 base NFTs have been sold. 53 from between $300 and $600, 38 from $600 to $2,500, 3 from $2,500 to $6,000, 3 from $6,000 to $30,000, and 1 for over $30,000, for a total volume of 178 NFTs in a day. I'll try to continue to improve this system by discussing values with you all in the comments, making it as accurate as possible. Check the description for a link to the most up-to-date level and power values. Of course, none of this is financial advice. Trade NFTs at your own risk. Don't forget to like and subscribe so we can do this again sometime.
Commander, do you think that we have any chance of surviving?
If I were you, Counselor, I wouldn't ask me that question. I would ask him.
Why?
Because he's the one who believes in miracles.
I believe in miracles. Since you came along, you sexy thing.